Welcome back to Z Coins. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most exciting coins in the modern penny world, the 2000 mint mark Lincoln penny. You heard that right. This humble coin, which you might find tucked away in your pocket change, could be worth anywhere from $40 to a whopping $200. So what makes this coin so valuable? Stick around because we're about to explore the history, key features, market demand, and everything you need to know about this little penny that's worth a lot of money. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was a historic moment because it was the first time a U.S. president appeared on any American coin. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the penny, featuring Lincoln's portrait, remains largely unchanged today, over a century later. But what about the 2000 penny specifically? To understand its value, we need to dig into a few key details, including the D mint mark, which holds significant importance in determining this coin's rarity and worth. So what does the D stand for on the 2000 penny? Well, it signifies that this penny was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's 4 production facilities. While Denver produces billions of pennies each year, not all coins that come out of the Denver Mint are created equal. Many of you might be wondering, how can a penny that's over 20 years old and minted in the billions be worth up to $200? Well, this is where the unique aspects of individual coins come into play, such as errors, variations, and condition. Coins that are misstruck or contain other minting errors are often more valuable to collectors because they're so unique. For the 2000 penny, several error types can increase its value substantially. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die error, where the image or text is struck twice, resulting in a slightly doubled appearance. On a 2000 penny, this error is rare but can send the value skyrocketing. Another factor that increases the value of a 2000 penny is its condition, graded by the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it hasn't been used in circulation and remains pristine, is far more valuable than a worn, circulated one. To give you a better idea, an average circulated 2000 penny might only be worth face value, just 1 cent. But if you have one in near mint or mint condition, it could fetch anywhere from $40 to $200, depending on its grade and whether it has any errors or other unique features. So what exactly drives the value of these coins? It's a combination of rarity, condition, and market demand. Even though billions of pennies are minted each year, very few survive in mint or uncirculated condition. Collectors are always searching for high-quality, well-preserved coins. But what truly pushes the value up is the demand for error pennies, those with slight imperfections that make them one of a kind. Let's say you have a 2000 penny with a prominent minting error, like a double die or off-center strike. Collectors could easily pay hundreds of dollars for such a coin, especially if it's been authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Now that you know what makes these 2000 pennies valuable, how can you find out if the penny sitting in your piggy bank is worth $200? First, take a good close-up look at the coin. Use a magnifying glass if needed. Check for any obvious signs of minting errors, like doubling of the date or text, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Next, assess the condition. Does the coin look brand new, or is it heavily worn? If it appears to be in exceptional condition, you might want to consider getting it professionally graded. Grading your coin can make a huge difference in its value. A coin graded as MS65, for example, can be worth significantly more than one graded MS60, even though they're both considered mint state. Now let's talk about the current market value for the 2000 penny. Prices can fluctuate depending on collector interest and market demand. On average, An uncirculated 2000D penny is currently worth around $40, but in exceptional cases, it could sell for up to $200 if it's in pristine condition with errors. A penny with a rare error could fetch a high price on online auction platforms like eBay or through professional coin dealers. Some collectors are even willing to pay top dollar for a coin with a unique story or minting anomaly. It's also worth keeping an eye on the market trends. Over time, the value of these coins could increase as more collectors enter the scene and as the number of available error pennies decreases. So you've checked your pennies and found a rare or valuable 2000D penny. What's next? If you're looking to sell, you have a few options. You can try online auction sites like eBay, visit a local coin dealer, or even consign your coin with a major auction house. When selling, be sure to research the current market value of similar pennies, especially ones with the same grade or error. This way, you can price your coin competitively and get the most for it. Who knew that a single penny could be worth so much? Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about the coins in your pocket, the 2000D Mint Mark Lincoln penny proves that treasure can be found in the most unexpected places. So keep your eyes open and always check your change. You never know what might be lurking there. And remember, if you liked this video and found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share with your fellow coin enthusiasts. We're diving deep into the 2013 Lincoln penny, specifically the ones that bear the mint mark. These little coins could be worth anywhere from $30 to over $200 in the collector's market right now. Yep, you heard that right. So, if you've got a few lying around, it's time to dig them out and see if you've hit the jackpot. Before we jump into the value, let's rewind a bit and talk about the history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it's become one of the most recognizable coins in the world. But the 2013 penny, while it looks ordinary to the casual eye, has a few interesting quirks that make it stand out in the world of coin collecting. 2013 was the 5th year of the shield design on the reverse, which replaced the Lincoln Memorial that had been featured from 1959 until 2008. The shield design was meant to symbolize Lincoln's preservation of the Union during the Civil War. The obverse still features the classic portrait of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been on the penny for over a century. However, what sets some 2013 pennies apart isn't their design, but a combination of minting anomalies, errors, and high-grade conditions. Now, when we talk about mint marks, we're referring to the small letters on coins that tell us where they were minted. In 2013, pennies were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins don't have a mint mark, while the Denver pennies will have a small d, and the San Francisco ones will have an S. It's the pennies with the S mint mark that can be particularly valuable. Why? Well, pennies from the San Francisco Mint are often struck as proof coins, meaning they have a special, highly polished finish mint for collectors, and fewer of these are produced compared to circulation strikes. So, the first thing you'll want to do is check for that mint mark under the year. If you find an S, that's a good sign you may have a valuable proof penny. Alright, so what's the deal with the 2013 pennies being worth $30, $200, or even more? Let's break it down. The value of a coin largely depends on its condition. A 2013 penny in mint condition, known as MS65 or higher, can fetch high prices in the coin market. MS65 means mint state 65, which refers to a coin that looks almost perfect with only a few small imperfections visible under magnification. The S mint mark pennies, especially in proof condition, are highly sought after by collectors. Proof coins are struck with higher quality and more attention to detail than regular coins, which makes them valuable to those who collect flawless coins. Some 2013 pennies also have minting errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes. These errors occur during the minting process and make the coin rare and unique, significantly increasing its value. So, you've checked your penny, and you think it might be worth something. What are these coins selling for on the market right now? According to recent auction results, high-grade 2013 pennies from the Denver or San Francisco mints can sell for anywhere between $30 and $200 or more, depending on the condition, errors, or proof status. Proof coins, especially from the San Francisco Mint, can fetch the higher end of that range, sometimes more than $200 if they are in perfect condition or have a special error. On the other hand, circulation pennies with a D mint mark that are graded MS65 or higher can also reach prices around $30 to $50. Look for the D4 Denver or the S4 San Francisco. S coins are often proofs, and D coins in high-grade condition can be worth a lot. If your penny looks brand new and has no visible wear or damage, it could be a high-grade coin worth submitting for professional grading. Examine the coin closely for any errors, like doubling of the letters or numbers, or an off-center strike. These kinds of mistakes can make your penny extremely valuable. If you believe you've got a gem, consider sending your penny to a coin grading service like PeaceGS or NGC. They'll professionally grade your coin and certify its condition, which could significantly increase its market value. Now, if you've checked your penny and believe it's worth something, the next step is selling it. Here's how you can do that. One of the easiest ways to sell is through online platforms like eBay, where you can set your own price or auction it off. Just make sure to list all the important details like the mint mark, condition, and whether it's been graded. You can also approach local coin dealers, though they may offer less than what you get through an auction. Lastly, specialized coin auctions, both online and in person, are a great way to connect with serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for rare coins. So, that's the scoop on the 2013 Lincoln penny. While most of them are only worth a cent, there are plenty of opportunities to find one that's worth a lot more, sometimes as much as $200. So, take a closer look at your change, because you never know what hidden treasure might be sitting there. And if you find something interesting, let us know in the comments below. We're diving deep into the history, significance, and value of this seemingly ordinary coin that could be worth up to a staggering $45,000. Stick around, and I'll explain how this humble penny is taking the coin collector's market by storm. Let's start with the basics. The 1996 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, a staple of American currency since 1909. The D Mint mark on the penny represents the Denver Mint, which is one of the 4 primary mints in the U.S. and plays a crucial role in coin production. In 1996, both the Denver and Philadelphia mints produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies. The total mintage from the Denver Mint that year was approximately 6.5 billion pennies. However, among these billions, there are a few rare specimens that are prized for their unique characteristics, making them extremely valuable to collectors. So what makes this particular coin so special, and how can a penny be worth thousands of dollars? When talking about the value of coins, condition is everything. There are a couple of key factors that make the 1996 D Lincoln penny stand out in the world of coin collecting. First and foremost, a coin's condition or grade is a big deal. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, uncirculated coin with no blemishes. For a 1996 D penny to reach top value, it needs to be in mint state, MS, and ideally an MS67 or higher. While most of the 1996 D pennies out there are in circulated condition, which brings their value down to about 1 cent, Those few that have been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition are where the magic happens. A penny graded at MS-67 or MS-68 can fetch anywhere from $45 to several $100s. And if you have a rare MS-69, you're looking at thousands of dollars. But it doesn't end there. Some 1996 D pennies have errors or varieties that can increase their value even more. Coin errors are a huge draw for collectors. Some rare 1996 D pennies might exhibit double die errors, where the design elements, like Lincoln's face or the lettering, are doubled due to a mistake during the minting process. Coins with this kind of error can easily reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Even a subtle misstrike, like an off-center strike or a weak D mint mark, can turn a regular penny into a valuable collector's item. Now for the part you've all been waiting for. How much is the 1996 D Lincoln penny actually worth today? In circulated condition, a 1996 D penny isn't worth much more than its face value. But if you find a penny in mint state condition, the value jumps significantly. Pennies graded MS-67, like this one, are currently selling for around $45 to $75. Coins graded MS-68 can fetch between $500 and $1,200. And the Holy Grail, a 1996 D penny graded MS-69, could be worth a jaw-dropping $45,000. So, you're probably wondering how to check if you've got one of these high-value pennies. Let me walk you through the process. Step 1. Check the mint mark. Make sure the D is clearly visible below the date 1996. Step 2. Inspect the condition. Does it have any wear or damage? If it's shiny with no blemishes, you might have something special. And step 3. If you think you've got a high-quality coin, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will give your coin an official grade, which is essential if you plan to sell it for top dollar. Now, let's talk about the current market. While penny collecting might seem like a niche hobby, it's actually booming right now. Collectors are always on the lookout for rare and high-grade Lincoln pennies, and the 1996 D is no exception. Recently, auctions have seen a surge in interest for high-quality Lincoln cents from the 90s. If you're lucky enough to own a 1996 D penny in MS-69, auctions could see bids reaching over $45,000. So what's the takeaway here? The 1996 D penny might seem like an everyday coin, but if you've got the right one, it could be worth a fortune. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who's just curious, it's always worth taking a closer look at your loose change. Who knows? That penny sitting in your jar could be worth way more than a cent. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, keep searching. You never know what treasures you might find. We dig deep into the world of rare and valuable coins. If you're here, you're probably curious about a penny that's turning heads in the collecting world. That's right, we're talking about the 1983 Lincoln cent, specifically the one with a rare mint mark error that could be hiding in your pocket change. And it might be worth anywhere between $50 and $200 or even more. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into the history, the key details to look for, and why the seemingly ordinary penny is skyrocketing in value today. Before we jump into the specific details of the 1983 Lincoln penny, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. The Lincoln cent, or penny, first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent replaced the Indian head penny and became the first U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. Throughout the years, the penny's design has seen a few changes, but Lincoln's profile has remained a constant. From the wheat penny years, 1909 to 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse 1959 to 2008, and now the Shield Reverse introduced in 2010, this coin has a special place in U.S. history and collectors' hearts. So, why is the 1983 penny in particular so interesting to collectors? It all starts with a major change in the composition of the penny that occurred just a year before, in 1982. Up until 1982, pennies were made primarily of copper. However, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint made the decision to switch to a cheaper composition. Starting mid-1982, pennies were made of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. By 1983, all pennies were supposed to be struck with this new zinc core and copper plating. But this is where things get exciting. Some 1983 pennies didn't follow this rule. Now, here's where the real money comes into play. In 1983, a small number of pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover copper planchets from 1982. These pennies weigh more than the standard zinc pennies. A regular 1983 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. But the 1983 copper pennies, drumroll, please, they weigh approximately 3.11 grams, just like the old copper coins. So, if you find one of these copper pennies, you're holding a piece of minting history that's worth a lot more than a penny. Some of these rare finds have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions. But more commonly, they can be valued anywhere between $50 and $200 depending on the condition. Now, let's talk about the mint marks. In 1983, the U.S. Mint struck pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. While the majority of 1983D and 1983S pennies are struck correctly on the zinc planchets, there are still cases of copper planchets being used at these mints as well. So, if you have a 1983D or 1983S penny that weighs more than 2.5 grams, you might just be in possession of something really special. Even without the copper error, these pennies in high grades, like mint state or proof condition, can fetch impressive prices due to their rarity and demand. Alright, now let's get to the nitty-gritty details. How do you find out if that 1983 penny in your collection is worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Obviously, it needs to be from 1983, so flip through your penny jars and keep an eye out for that year. The quickest way to know if you've struck gold, or in this case, copper, is to weigh the penny. Use a precise digital scale to see if it weighs around 3.11 grams. If it does, congratulations, you've found a copper penny. As with any collectible coin, the condition of the penny plays a big role in its value. The higher the grade, meaning fewer scratches, dings, and wear, the more money it could be worth. Coins graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, in mint state condition can fetch higher prices. So how much are these rare 1983 pennies actually selling for today? Let's break it down. A standard 1983 Lincoln penny made of zinc isn't worth more than face value, unless it's in near-perfect, uncirculated condition. These can be worth a few dollars at most. But a 1983 penny struck on a copper planchet? That's where the big money is. Depending on the condition, these coins have sold for prices ranging from $50 to $200 in more common cases. However, if you have a pristine example, the sky is the limit. One particularly well-preserved 1983 copper penny sold for over $16,000 at auction. Remember, the market for these coins fluctuates depending on demand, but the 1983 penny continues to be one of the most sought-after error coins in the numismatic community. Oh, there you have it, folks! The 1983 Lincoln penny might look like just another coin, but with a bit of knowledge and a keen eye, you could uncover a rare treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just getting started, don't overlook those pennies. They might just be the key to your next big find. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new today, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and treasure hunting secrets. And if you've ever found a rare coin or have questions, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. We're talking about one specific penny that's stirring up excitement in the coin market, the 1976 Lincoln penny. Some of these coins have been fetching prices as high as $55,200. That's right, a single penny could be worth thousands of dollars. So what makes this coin so special? Stick around, because we're about to break it down. Let's start with a little history. The 1976 Lincoln penny was part of the iconic Lincoln Memorial Design Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, features the bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. 1976 was a special year in American history because it marked the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. While no special commemorative designs were made for the Lincoln penny in that year, unlike the bicentennial quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins, the penny still holds historical significance as a product of the bicentennial era. This particular coin was struck at 3 major mints in the U.S. Philadelphia, which left no mint mark, Denver, marked by a D, and San Francisco, marked by an S. The vast majority of these pennies are quite common, but as we'll soon discover, certain variations and conditions have made some examples incredibly valuable. So you might be wondering, why would a penny minted in 1976 be worth more than just 1 cent? There are several key factors that make certain 1976 pennies worth a small fortune. First, let's talk about mint marks and error coins. As we mentioned earlier, the 1976 penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver carry the D mint mark, while those from San Francisco have an S. But what gets collectors excited are the rare errors or anomalies that can occur during the minting process. One of the most famous errors is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, causing a doubled appearance in some of the details like the lettering or date. A 1976 penny with a double die obverse, meaning the front of the coin has the error, can dramatically increase the coin's value. These error coins are rare and can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. Speaking of condition, another crucial factor in determining a coin's value is its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect mint state coin, showing no signs of wear. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1976 penny in pristine condition, graded at mint state, MS, 67 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can command a hefty price tag. In fact, that's where we see some of the eye-popping figures like $55,200. Coins in lesser condition, even with some wear, are still worth more than face value, but won't reach those sky-high prices. So how much are 1976 pennies worth today? Let's break down the current market value. If you have a 1976 penny in regular circulated condition, without any special errors, it's likely worth just a few cents above face value. However, if you have an uncirculated penny that's been well preserved, you could be looking at a value of $5 to $10, or possibly more. Now, if your 1976 penny is a rare error coin or has been professionally graded in mint state 67 or higher, that's when things get really interesting. In 2021, a 1976 penny with an MS 67 plus grade sold at auction for an astonishing $55,200. These coins are extremely rare, and finding one is like winning the lottery. Even coins graded MS-66 can sell for a few $100s, which is still an incredible return on a single penny. Now that you know these pennies can be worth big money, how do you identify if you have a valuable one? Here are a few tips to help you out. Look at the coin just below the date to find the mint mark. D indicates Denver, S indicates San Francisco, and no mint mark means it's from Philadelphia. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the details of the coin. Look closely at the date, lettering, and Lincoln's profile for any signs of doubling or other anomalies. The better condition your penny is in, the more it could be worth. Check for scratches, dings, and overall wear. If it's in great shape, consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Some 1976 pennies were included in special mint sets and proof sets. These coins are typically in better condition and can be more valuable than regular circulating pennies. To wrap things up, while most 1976 pennies are worth just a little more than face value, there are exceptions that could make you a small fortune. Error coins, high-grade uncirculated examples, and coins with rare mint marks are the ones to watch out for. If you think you have one, it might be worth having it professionally graded or selling it through an auction to see just how much it's worth. So, the next time you come across a 1976 penny, take a closer look. You never know if you're holding on to a potential $55,000 treasure. We're talking about the 1974 Lincoln penny. While most people think of it as just a common coin, some of these coins are hidden treasures, fetching prices as high as $60, $200, or even more. Stick around to find out how you can spot one of these valuable coins and why collectors are paying top dollar for them. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, is a staple in American coinage. By 1974, it was already a well-established part of American life. But why is the 1974 penny particularly interesting? Let's dig into some history. The 1974 Lincoln penny was produced in huge quantities at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. In 1974, the U.S. Mint made billions of these pennies out of copper-coated zinc, a combination that had been standard for years. However, what makes this particular year so fascinating is the variety of coins that were produced, including some rare mint errors and unique materials used for experimental coins. Let's talk about one of the most intriguing stories in coin history: the copper versus aluminum penny debate. In 1974, the U.S. Mint was looking for ways to reduce the cost of producing pennies due to the rising price of copper. This led to the Mint experimenting with aluminum pennies. Around 1.5 million aluminum cents were struck for testing. But there was a problem. The aluminum coins were not ideal for circulation. They were too light, and doctors raised concerns that they wouldn't show up well on X-rays if accidentally swallowed. In the end, the aluminum penny idea was scrapped, and all but a few of these experimental coins were recalled and supposedly destroyed. However, a few aluminum pennies escaped destruction, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. If you're ever lucky enough to find one of these coins, you're holding a treasure worth thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. While the aluminum penny is a once-in-a-lifetime find, there are still plenty of other valuable 1974 pennies that could be hiding in your change. One important thing to pay attention to is the mint mark. There are 3 key mint marks for the 1974 penny. This is the most common mint mark and was produced in the billions. These pennies are also quite common, but can still be worth more if they're in mint condition. These are less common and can be more valuable, particularly in proof form. But here's where things get exciting. Some 1974 pennies have errors. Collectors love error coins because they're unique, and they can be worth a lot more than regular pennies. Common errors to look out for include This happens when the coin is struck twice, leading to doubled images on the coin, particularly on the date or the lettering. These pennies appear off-center with part of the design missing. This error happens when the mint mark is stamped more than once, creating a doubled mint mark. Error pennies from 1974 can range in value from $50 to $200, depending on the severity and visibility of the mistake. So, what makes a 1974 penny worth $60, $200, or more? The answer lies in three main factors: condition, rarity, and demand. A penny in mint state, meaning it has never been circulated and shows no wear, will always be worth more. Collectors look for coins that are as close to perfect as possible, graded by organizations like PCGS or NGC. Coins in higher grades, like MS-65 or MS-66, can fetch hundreds of dollars at auctions. While billions of 1974 pennies were produced, certain versions or error coins are much rarer. If you find a double die or off-center penny, you're looking at a much higher value. The value of any collectible item, including coins, is driven by how much people are willing to pay for it. As more collectors seek out high-quality or rare 1974 pennies, the price goes up. For example, a perfectly preserved 1974 S-proof penny, free from any imperfections, has been known to sell for over $100. And as for error coins, they can reach up to $200 or more if they're especially rare. A penny collection being sorted through, followed by shots of online auction listings. Asterisk: now that you know what to look for, how can you find and value your 1974 pennies? First, check your change jars. You'd be surprised how often rare coins slip through the cracks. You can also visit coin shops, attend coin shows, or even check out online auction sites like eBay. Once you've found a 1974 penny, inspect it closely for mint marks and any errors. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to spot things like double dies or off-center strikes. If you think your penny is in great condition, consider having it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A graded coin will fetch a higher price and give buyers confidence in its authenticity. Finally, research online marketplaces to get a sense of current prices. Look at recently sold listings on auction sites to see how much similar coins are going for. A regular 1974 penny might only be worth a few cents, but if you've got an error coin or one in mint state, it could be worth a lot more. In conclusion, the 1974 Lincoln penny might seem like an ordinary coin, but some of these pennies are worth way more than their face value. Whether it's an error coin, a proof coin, or one in pristine mint condition, these little treasures could be sitting right in your pocket or CoinJar.so. Before you dismiss that penny, take a closer look. It might just be worth $60, $200, or even more. We're diving into the world of Lincoln pennies, specifically the 1970 D Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, some of these little copper coins are worth a lot more than their face value. Like, we're talking up to $65,000. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny that could be worth thousands of dollars. So grab your collection, sit tight, and let's explore what makes this coin so special, why collectors are willing to shell out big bucks for it, and how you can tell if you've got one of these rare gems. But before we get into the details, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on more valuable content like this. First, let's talk about the history of the 1970 D Lincoln penny. The D stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the three major mints that produced U.S. coins in 1970. The Lincoln penny, or Lincoln cent, has been in production since 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. But by the 1970s, the design had already undergone some changes, most notably the addition of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the coin, which started in 1959. The 1970D penny was part of that series, and at first glance, it might look like just another common coin. However, what makes it stand out is not just its history, but some very special errors and variations that occurred during its production. You see, during the minting process, certain mistakes or errors can happen, and in the world of coin collecting, these errors can make a huge difference in the value of a coin. Now, let's talk about what makes certain 1970D pennies worth more than others. It's all about mint errors and conditions. Some of these errors were unintentional, but collectors absolutely love them because they are rare and, in some cases, almost impossible to replicate. The biggest reason why some 1970D pennies are so valuable is because of a specific error called a double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned or strikes the coin more than once, creating a slightly doubled image, especially on the inscriptions like Liberty or the date 1970. If you look closely at the coin, particularly around the text or Lincoln's profile, you may see this doubling effect. This error dramatically increases the value of the penny because it's not something that's supposed to happen, and it's very rare. These double die varieties are highly sought after by collectors, and one of the most famous finds of a 1970D double die penny sold for a whopping $65,000 at auction. Yep, this small copper coin could be a jackpot if you find one in excellent condition with this rare error. Another key factor that affects the value of the 1970D Lincoln penny is its condition. In the coin world, this is measured on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A coin graded at 70 is in perfect, mint condition, which is incredibly rare. So, if you happen to have a 1970D penny in high-grade condition, say graded as MS65 or higher, that's mint state 65, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on demand. The 1970D Lincoln penny also comes in two varieties, a small date and a large date version. The small date variety is harder to find, and therefore more valuable than the large date. You can tell the difference by looking at the height of the numbers in the date. The small date version has a 7 that appears more level with the other digits, while the large date version has a taller 7. The small date variety with mint errors is the one that can fetch those high prices, especially when it's in pristine condition. Now that you know what makes the 1970D penny so valuable, how do you know if you have one? Here's a quick step-by-step guide. First, make sure you're looking at a 1970D penny. The D mint mark is located just below the year on the front of the coin, under the date. Use a magnifying glass and carefully inspect the inscriptions on the coin. Pay special attention to the words, Liberty, and In God We Trust, as well as the date itself. If you see any doubling of the letters or numbers, you could be in luck. Compare the date on your penny to images of small date and large date varieties. If it's a small date, that's good news because it's rarer and more valuable. If your penny looks shiny, free of scratches, and well preserved, it could be worth sending in to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. High-grade 1970D pennies with errors can reach that $65,000 mark. If you suspect you have one of these valuable coins, it's definitely worth getting it appraised by a professional. So, what's the current market value of the 1970D Lincoln penny? Well, not all of them are going to be worth $65,000. In fact, many of them are still worth just 1 cent. However, if you find one in mint state condition or with that prize double die error, your penny could be worth anywhere from $200 to thousands of dollars. Currently, depending on the condition and rarity, these pennies can sell for between $65 and $200 on average, but higher graded coins with errors can skyrocket in value. To sell your coin, you can try auction houses, online marketplaces like eBay, or even specialty coin dealers. So there you have it, the 1970 Lincoln penny might just be a hidden treasure in your pocket change or coin jar. Remember, it's all about those minting errors, high-grade conditions, and whether you've got a small date version. If you do, you could be holding onto a coin worth serious money. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you found this video helpful, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more awesome content about valuable coins and collectibles. And hey, if you think you've got one of these pennies, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear about it. We're diving into the fascinating history of the 1962 Lincoln penny, a coin that collectors are paying up to $200 for. If you've got one of these in your collection, you could be holding on to a little treasure. The year is 1962. The United States is in the middle of a cultural and political transformation. President John F. Kennedy is in the White House, and the world is witnessing the height of the Cold War. But what does this have to do with a 1-cent coin? In Denver, Colorado, the U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion pennies, 1,793,148,400 to be exact, each bearing the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This was during a time when pennies were still made primarily from 95% copper, giving them that rich, reddish-brown color we all know. The small d on the lower right side of the coin under the date stands for the Denver Mint, indicating where it was struck. Coins minted here often have unique characteristics that can make them more or less valuable to collectors, depending on certain features and their condition. Now, you might be wondering, how can a penny that was minted in such large quantities be worth more than its face value? Well, there are a few factors that come into play here, and some of these 1962 pennies can fetch up to $200 in today's market. The first thing that makes a coin valuable is its condition. In the coin collecting world, a coin's condition is rated on a scale called the Sheldon Grading Scale, which ranges from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, mint condition coin. Most pennies you'll find in circulation are well worn, and will grade anywhere from 1 to 20. However, the 1962 pennies that are worth the most are those that are in mint state, particularly MS 65 or higher. A coin in mint state 65 or higher is almost flawless to the naked eye, with strong details and a lustrous surface. These coins have likely never been used in circulation, meaning they were stored carefully and have minimal wear. If you have a 1962 penny in this grade, its value could easily be between $70 and $200 depending on the demand in the market. Another factor that can drive up the value of the 1962 penny is the presence of minting errors. Sometimes, during the minting process, things don't go as planned, resulting in unique errors that make the coin rare and highly sought after by collectors. Some of the most valuable errors include double die pennies, where the design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a shadow or doubling effect. Coins with off-center strikes, where the image appears misaligned, or clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing, can also bring in a premium. While these errors are rare, finding one could turn a regular penny into a valuable collector's item worth hundreds of dollars. Now, let's talk about the current market value. As of 2024, a typical 1962 penny that has been in circulation will usually be worth between 1 cent and 25 cents, not a huge increase from its face value. However, if you have a 1962 penny in mint state 65 or higher, you're looking at values ranging from $70 to $200 depending on the specific characteristics of the coin. Factors such as luster, sharpness of the strike, and even the presence of toning, where the coin surface color has changed over time, can all affect the price. So how can you tell if your 1962 penny is worth something? First, you'll need to check its condition. If it looks relatively new, with no significant wear, it could be worth having it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Getting your coin graded and authenticated will give you a clearer picture of its value. If you're ready to sell, the best places to start are online auction sites like eBay, where similar coins have been sold for hundreds of dollars. You can also check out local coin shops or attend a coin show to connect with potential buyers. The 1962 D Lincoln penny may just be one of the most undervalued coins in your collection. While many of these pennies are still worth only face value, the rare, mint-condition examples or those with unique errors can be worth as much as $200 or more. So next time you're sorting through your change jar or coin collection, take a closer look. That humble 1962 D penny could be more valuable than you think. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more fascinating coin and currency history. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting!